Hello and welcome to this new lesson on Microsoft Plan Air, in which we will focus on integrating our plan into the Congress event in Microsoft. We will not limit ourselves to this, as within Teams, still obviously related. To the event, we will also integrate Toto and the SharePoint site, we discussed it in the previous lesson where we examined its interface. We have integrated our Air plan. To achieve this, we need an integrated planner visible in Teams. On its board, visible in the list of activities corresponding to Toto. And also to integrate the SharePoint site into Teams. It will be accessible via this link. So we will integrate Plan Air and Toto into Teams, and we will also integrate SharePoint into Teams, and then we will also examine the effects of integrating Plan Air. In Toto, it is automatic, but only if the tasks are relevant to us. I go back to my planner to organize this course, and I will do this activity. Therefore, the integration of Plan Air and Toto into Teams. I am following a plan just like we are to organize the event, Congress. Let's return to the conference event plan, and as you can see here, I completed a few things with the camera off. Regarding this activity that we integrated into the previous lesson, the need to create these modules and forms to collect data. I have structured this so that in this activity, first I have included this representative image of Microsoft Forms that I should use to create these forms so that I can immediately see what it is, and this applies to any other activity. And then I went to write more details. I went there to write that this activity is ongoing and urgent, that it must be completed. Conducted from this day until that other day. It would be good if it could be done within this time frame. It is an activity that does not repeat, as once completed, it should not be repeated. And then I also went to sign up for this activity. Obviously, when someone assigns her a task or an activity, she receives a message in her app. And after all the activities, she also receives an email every day about all the activities she needs to complete. We are going to add another member. Let's include a manager from the organizing agency, events from the two managers we have included who will specifically in charge of this activity. We could also add a label, or we could then write something, thing. With this red color, we mean that we are clicking here on the pencil. We want to highlight that this activity is urgent. Therefore, we are also assigning it as urgent. And down here, we can also write comments, which can then be commented on. By other people. So you can see how we have already structured an initial activity. I want to point out that here, when the planner opens, we can see some things immediately, even if one doesn't know what is written inside, because we need to open the activity. But I see immediately that there is an urgency. I see that the activity is in progress. I see that there are attachments. I see that there are sub-activities, and there are 4 of them. And I haven't done any of these activities yet. Let's move on to the specific topic of the lesson, namely integrating our planner. Cardiology conference in Teams. So we are opening Teams again. So we were here on an agenda. We were at the board. I also showed you the list of activities. Here are all the structured plans, examples that I will show you. Next, so that you can generate ideas in various fields to develop plans. We are in Teams, so we need to incorporate our plan for the Cardiology Congress. The Cardiology Congress in Teams. The first step is to click here on Create a Team, and then we will click here to create a team. The team can be created from an Office 365 group or from Microsoft Teams. Here are the 2 options. We will create it from an Office 365 group. Which group? Clearly from the Cardiology Congress group that was automatically generated during the plan's creation. So we select it and click Create. At that point, Office 365 creates our team on Teams associated with the plan. General, where you can immediately start group conversations. Conversations between individual members of the group. In the upcoming lessons, we will structure all these environments. Now we are simply connecting them. We will build the channels. That is to say, within this Cardiology Congress team, we will create a channel for each category of participants in the event. It will be possible to speak only with the interpreters and the technicians or the hostesses, so that by creating these channels, the conversations cannot be viewed, that only the members of these channels can do, not the whole team. Let's now move on to integrating our plan. Integrating Planner into Teams. The next step, once the team is formed, is to click here on More and select this icon in Planner. Let's choose Bert's icon, and as you can see here, it will integrate Planner and To Do. Therefore, the activities from Planner and To Do will be integrated into Teams. Let's choose to use an existing plan as we did in SharePoint during the previous lesson. Clearly, in this case too, he will only propose this plan because we have formed a team related to the plan. We have already done that, and now he is proposing to integrate only the plan of the Cardiology Congress. We click Save, and at this stage, the Congress Plan Cardiology has been integrated into Microsoft Teams, as in the previous lesson on SharePoint, regarding the integration of the plan into SharePoint. Here too, the title is long. We can rename it. This title is simply referred to as we did in SharePoint and Planner, so we can view it more clearly. And we mentioned that we also want to integrate the site into Teams. From SharePoint, which is already accessible through Teams, by clicking on these dots. I can choose to open the SharePoint site. First, we open it here, where it opens by default. So, by default, we can access the SharePoint site from Teams without any action. But perhaps we want to see it more clearly and access it immediately from the menu. That's why we're going to integrate it. So, we reach the SharePoint site, and of course this link will take us directly to the site that is associated with the plan that was integrated into the team. At the Cardiology Congress, we are focusing on the home page. Otherwise, it would take the link to the documents, while we want to view the team's homepage. The homepage of the SharePoint site, and then perhaps we can access the documents. And to other environments of the SharePoint site, then we copy the internet address of the website. We place ourselves here and double-click Control-C. We go back to Teams. We click again on More. And this time we will choose SharePoint. We choose SharePoint. Then we proceed to click on this box, check this box, and paste what we copied onto the SharePoint site. That is the URL of the SharePoint site. We are doing click on Save. At this stage, the SharePoint site will be integrated, and the word site is already displayed inside Microsoft Teams. Thus, here we can see and navigate our SharePoint site. I also want to show you To Do, as we mentioned at the beginning of the lesson. The integration between Planner and the task list is automatic, as we have said several times in previous lessons. Here we clarify that it is automatic if the plan's activities pertain to me, in the sense that on my task list, I see all the activities of the plan or plans I'm involved in if these activities have been assigned to me. That is to say, I only see these. I do not see the others, and they do not appear. Here in the task list, I can also write new activities, of course, that I wish to add for today, tomorrow, or the day after, that are unrelated to this cardiology congress, nor with the other projects. But these activities will be added to the ones assigned to me in the cardiology congress plan, or projects I'm involved in on the Office 365 account. For example, today, since I set this date, to demonstrate a result, we should do this. That is, the forms to create with Microsoft Forms, as we saw in the previous lesson. But from another perspective that I am part of, obviously, I have been involved in several plans that I will show you later and which are different. We will also need to study the documents for the preliminary hearing in connection with this criminal procedure. We also saw how the integration works. From Microsoft Planner into To Do, yes, automatically. But if the tasks have been assigned to me, let's go back to Teams. Let's return to our Teams Planner environment. And from here, we can obviously open our activities and manage them as if we were in Planner. So this is something very practical, because perhaps while we are speaking with other team members in the general channel, which was created automatically, or in the thematic channels that we will create and that we are discussing with them, we can open immediately and take notes on something we want to report. I want to point out that from here, it is possible to open the notebook immediately, which is OneNote. Here are the files that will be attached to the team conversations. So, when I write a message and I'm going to attach a file to the message, all attachments will end up in this list so that they will then be easily accessible in individual channels. Only the members of the channel will see it, obviously, in this team. The conversations will only be seen by the members of this team, not by these other teams. I can go have individual chats, so here I mention the name of the person, and I will have a discussion with this person. I can view the team's calendar, initiate a video call, and I can also initiate a video conference right away by calling the people I want to talk to. Or I can schedule, as we will see, a video conference to discuss an important work topic. I can go ahead and schedule with the people who will immediately receive this notification and mark it in their calendar that they have this video conference on this date. Then they can obviously confirm their attendance or not and request a change of date if they are busy. So we have seen all the potential to integrate Planner into Microsoft Teams. I'll see you in the next lesson, where we will set up Microsoft Sway Doth to create the event agenda, the companions agenda. And so in this case as well, as we did for the forms, we will simply write the title and nothing more, to be shared immediately with those interested, so that they can contribute to this sway die to its realization, and then we will put them on hold, as we have left other matters unresolved, because now we are simply connecting the environments. And then we will explore OneNote, OneDrive, and Power Apps. I will wait for you in the next lesson. Hello?